Next on Good Morning El Paso, new developments in the Oscar Pistorius trial this morning. The judge has announced her verdict. He may be off the hook for murder, but he is still a convicted killer. And if you were planning on tailgating at the Las Palmas parking lot this weekend, we've got some bad news for you. We'll go over changes that are a result of last weekend's fight. Also, a New Mexico senator forced to reach across the aisle to survive, not in Washington, but on a tropical island for a TV show. We have all the details new this morning.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good morning. A live look at our traffic cams this morning. We're expecting some rain showers to move in throughout the day. Good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Hillary Florin. Thanks for joining us today. Bob Harp is off today. Well, your weather forecast is coming your way in just a moment. But first, we have some breaking news out of South Africa this morning. The judge in the murder trial against Oscar Pistorius says the double amputee athlete is guilty of culpable homicide or negligent killing in the shooting death of girlfriend Reva Steenkamp. The judge said that Pistorius was not guilty of murder, as prosecutors had alleged. We'll have much more on this later on Good Morning El Paso, and stay tuned for more out of South Africa then on Good Morning America. And let's get right to Nicole Gomez. She's got to look at our forecast for today, and those rain showers supposed to be coming in, right?
Absolutely, Hillary. We're already seeing some rain on the east side of town. Let's get straight to Doppler radar, track some of these storms. We'll zoom in just a little closer here. As you can see, throughout our area, most of the heaviest rainfall is tracking towards the east side of town. So around Horizon City, Agua Dulce, that's where we are seeing some of the darker greens develop. So if you live around Pelicano, Berryville, Hill Street, and Joe Battle, notice we are seeing some of the darker greens, even the yellows around Montwood, Bob Mitchell, Pueblo Nuevo Circle, and Sal Kleinfeld. So east side of town picking up the most rainfall as of right now. Notice the direction of these storms tracking towards George Dieter, North Yarborough Drive, and the storms will continue to move towards the west, eventually making its way to Cielo Vista and Viscount. As of now, not seeing very much rainfall in that area. So again, most of the heaviest rainfall towards the east side of town. So if you live on the east side, that's where most of the activity is taking place as of now. 70 degrees, the current temperature at the El Paso International Airport. Winds are calm this morning, but they will pick up this afternoon as the storms begin making their way through our region. 65 degrees in Las Cruces. Southeast winds are at 5 miles per hour. And notice our humidity is at 81%. So this afternoon, cold front will move in. We're expecting scattered storms and below normal temperatures. I'll talk about the details on what you can expect for the rest of your work week and the weekend coming up in your full forecast. Hillary?
Lots to cover. Thanks so much, Nicole. Well, to the headlines now. The El Paso School District is looking into the case of the student who wandered off an elementary school campus. It happened yesterday at Lundy Elementary School. A second grade boy told a woman who found him that he was being bullied in his PE class and just wanted to go home. Here's a map showing the distance between the school and the boy's home.
It turns my stomach that, us as good people, we drop our kids off and expect them to be taken care of. But the PE coaches need to be held accountable, and the chief of police needs to be held accountable.
Armando Alarcon alerted El Paso police, who told them to call the El Paso School District Police. He says everyone who spoke to seemed like they weren't concerned. The district did acknowledge the incident happened. A spokeswoman said, quote, "The safety of our children is a top priority and our campuses are a secure and safe place for our students to be. We are addressing safety concerns to reinforce procedures with parents, students, and staff. Any child who feels threatened or bullied is encouraged to report it to any EPISD employee so that proper action can be taken," end quote. El Paso police are searching for a man who's wanted in Colorado Springs for the death of his girlfriend's toddler. 23-year-old Kevin Diaz is believed to have family in El Paso and across the border in Chihuahua, too. Diaz is facing charges of child abuse resulting in the death of a 2-year-old. Police were called to a home in Colorado Springs last Saturday to investigate a report of an injured child. Madeline Hernandez died from her injuries the next morning. If you have any information on Diaz's whereabouts, you're asked to call El Paso Police or Colorado Springs Police at 719-444-7000, the number right there on your screen. We are just one day away from the Battle of I-10 now. The countdown has been on all week. The undefeated New Mexico State Aggies taking on UTEP at the Sun Bowl. There are still plenty of tickets available too. We have a seating chart, in fact, that shows from Ticketmaster the available seats, which are all in blue. Look at that. Too many available seats. We spoke with Athletic Director Bob Stoll. He says a large amount of people do buy tickets at the very last minute, and they won't have an accurate count until after the game. We want to encourage you to take in the game in person. Of course, if you can't make it out, we'll bring it to you live on the CW. Check out KVIA.com for the list of channels based on your cable or satellite provider, and you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. We do have bad news, though, for this tailgaters this weekend. Tailgating will no longer be allowed at the Las Palmas Life Care Center parking lot, the one right near UTEP. In a statement, a spokeswoman for Las Palmas said safety is their first priority and they're doing away with parking in the lot on game days. The El Paso Youth Sports Foundation was one of the groups that collected funds from parking lots on that game day. They tell us that they'll now be forced to find other ways to raise money. Saturday's fight still under investigation, but we've seen it plenty of times, haven't we? Well, Westside residents are upset with a construction project along Sunland Park Drive. They say that they've been left in the dark about what's going on near the intersection of Sunland Park Drive and Fiesta. The bad news is that ABC7 learned the project is expected to drag on until the end of the year. The water utility has to replace a 24-inch main along Fiesta Street, as well as other water lines near the Mesa and Sunland Park intersections. Well, spokeswoman Christina Montoya says the utility did reach out to homeowners with flyers and public meetings about the project, but several residents we spoke with said that they had no notice at all.
I have not heard from them at all. So I don't know if they've let other neighbors know, but me, myself, personally, no, I haven't.
We did have a public meeting and we did hand out some flyers in the neighborhood about when the project was starting, what lanes it would be affecting, what neighborhoods, because it is in the middle of some residential streets. And really we did that because we wanted people to really understand what they were seeing when they walked out their door and when they were driving.
There have been numerous setbacks too. Montoya tells us delays from construction complications and the monsoon pushed back the timeline and increased costs. Well, 2 U.S. senators were stranded in an island for a week. However, this wasn't an accident. ABC7's Dan Martinez is live making sense of it all this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Hillary. New Mexico Democratic Senator Martin Heinrich and Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake agreed to take part in a reality show to prove to their colleagues that Washington can work together. Both also wanted to do something different to show democracy can work. Neither of the surviving senators are up for re-election. The senators were each allowed to pick 3 survival items from the Discovery Channel is calling a modest list. Then they were forced to jump from a boat and swim to shore with just those items and the clothes on their backs. Now, in a joint statement, Heinrich and Flake said, "We recognize how difficult it can be to cut through partisanship. So we decided to do something completely out of the ordinary and frankly a little extreme to show the world and our colleagues that even if you have serious differences, if you want to survive, you have to work together." And putting it into perspective for you, the island they were in for 6 days was about 2,500 miles from Hawaii. The Discovery Channel says the show was filmed while Congress was on its August break. Now, the episode of what they're calling the show Survival is expected to air on October 29th, and that's going to be on the Discovery Channel. In the newsroom, Dan Martinez, ABC7.
Pretty interesting. I bet a lot of people will be tuning in. Thanks so much, Dan. A live look at traffic right now. It's 5:08. This is I-10 in Hawkins. Traffic pretty slow right now, as it normally is when we're just getting started here on Good Morning El Paso. But hey, we're here all morning long, and we'll keep an eye on things, let you know if there are any problems out there. And we've heard it more than once, don't leave your children in the car. Coming up, a Texas school district is in trouble now for leaving a 4-year-old girl alone on a bus. More on how that happened, plus an update on her condition in just a few minutes. Also, remember the mystery plane that was flying above NMSU? Well, we now know where it came from and what it was doing in Las Cruces. We'll explain. And we'll check in with your forecast right now. Nicole Gomez is standing by, and you are tracking some storms already this morning, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Light rainfall is tracking through eastern portions of El Paso County. When will you see rain? I'll have an answer coming up in your full storm track weather forecast.
This is ABC7, where news comes first.
We're watching ABC7's Good Morning El Paso with Hillary Florin, Bob Harp, Storm Track weather meteorologist Crystal Cly, and live reports from Denise Olivas.
Welcome back. It's 5:11. A community once close is now worlds apart. Before 9/11, the town of Boquillas, Mexico enjoyed a cross-border lifestyle with its American neighbor. But after the attacks, the U.S. shut down the Boquillas crossing for fear of terrorists. ABC 7's Alex Schreck takes us there in a story you'll see only here on ABC 7.
From the ground or sky, the only way to tell Mexico and the U.S. apart amidst vast stretches of rugged Chihuahuan desert, the Rio Grande. Singer Victor Valdez says for as long as he could remember, the village of Boquillas, Mexico formed a cross-border lifestyle with communities in the Big Bend.
The before was great. Almost everybody that's living over here now lived in Mexico at the time because they were happier over there.
Then came 9/11.
An effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
That September 2001 attack on the World Trade Center.
That looks like a second plane.
Thousands of miles from the Texas-Mexico border caused the U.S. to shut down the Boquillas crossing for fear of terrorists crossing into the U.S.
What's Mexico got to do with 911?
Families were ripped apart, tourism crushed.
9/11.
The relaxed cross-border way of life ended.
I'm sure they, you couldn't take a section and leave it out of the border, but I wish they had.
In April of 2013, the border crossing reopened.
¿Y no tienen su pasaporte, piden ellos?
But many poor Mexicans can't afford expensive passports.
Son alacrancitos para vender.
The pre-9/11 prosperity that had been hoped for didn't happen. Instead, say those like Victor Valdez, who sings along the banks of the Mexico side of the Rio Grande for tips to earn his living, it's been a one-way trickle in a river of disappointment. From Big Bend National Park, Alex Schreck, ABC 7.
Interesting perspective there. Well, it is already snowing, believe it or not, in Canada. The mayor of Calgary says it could take days or weeks to deal with damage caused by the second summer snowstorm to hit Alberta this month. Snow in the area downed trees and caused power outages. Some tree removal companies say it may take them weeks to get all the already downed trees up, while more snow is forecast. And I was looking at the national forecast yesterday and I saw all the cooler temperatures already creeping in. We're not even in fall yet.
No, we're not in fall yet, but we're also expecting cooler temperatures.
All
Backdoor
right.
cold front moves in, and I think it'll be a nice little change. It's been so hot lately.
It will, and it feels more like fall for the football games, right?
A few more weeks till fall, but
Yeah.
let's just enjoy the cooler
Feels
temperatures
like it.
for now. Let's check on current conditions out there. Our clouds and radar pictures showing us the heaviest rainfall affecting Culberson County, portions of Hudspeth County around Sierra Blanca, Fort Hancock. We are seeing the darker greens, some of the yellows. Now the east side of El Paso, we're also picking up some rainfall around Agua Dulce. Light rainfall falling in Socorro, but we'll zoom in a little closer where the heaviest rain is currently taking place around Homestead Meadows. Now let's travel around Rich Beam. If you live in that area around Zaragoza, notice we're even starting to see some of the yellows, the orange, showing us that we are currently seeing heavy rainfall around these areas. So we'll travel a little towards the west around Pebble Hills Boulevard. We are also seeing some of the lighter greens traveling towards the north, but darker greens around Pebble Hills. So if you live on the east side of town and you're headed out the door right now, expect some of the heaviest rainfall. But notice the direction of these storms tracking towards Cielo Vista. So if you're traveling along I-10 this morning, you definitely want to be careful because of the rainfall. Could cause those slick roadways. Our current dew point temperatures, which is the fuel for these thunderstorms, usually when we start to see the 60s, upper 50s, rain chances look pretty good for us. So we're already at 60 degrees here in El Paso, 59 degrees Las Cruces, 54 degrees Ruidoso. We're also in the 50s TRC and Deming. So rain chances look very good for us this afternoon and very nice for us this morning as well. Our latest future track rainfall model showing us the numbers gradually going up through our Saturday around your lunch hour. Not picking up very heavy rainfall in El Paso and Las Cruces and a little close to half an inch in Alamogordo Sunday. As you can see, those numbers gradually continue to go up. So this afternoon, a cold front will make its way into our area. So not only are we expecting rainfall throughout the afternoon, but behind this cool front, cooler temperatures is what we are expecting this afternoon and your weekend as well. Now this afternoon on your Friday, 40% chance for showers. We're at 20% on Saturday and Sunday. It looks like that 20% chance for rain will remain in the forecast for the start of your work week and possibly through Wednesday. Now if you have plans to attend the Battle of I-10, Rain chances at 6 o'clock at 10%, 74 degrees. So that cold front will drop us down to the 70s. So at least it will feel comfortable if you do have plans to attend the game. 76 degrees El Paso this weekend. Slightly warmer on Sunday, but just keep in mind we're usually at 89 degrees around this time. 74 degrees Saturday in Las Cruces, 79 your forecast high on Sunday with a 10% chance for rain. You can stay up to date on your weekend weather forecast by following us on Facebook and Twitter and KVIA.com. I'll also post your football forecast, the Battle Live I-10 forecast on Twitter. 80 degrees today, the high in El Paso, 40% chance for showers. Rain chances remain in the forecast overnight at 30%, 69 degrees. Keep in mind the winds will pick up this afternoon. It will be breezy. 78 degrees, Las Cruces, 65 overnight with that 30% chance for rain in place. So the entire region expects scattered showers throughout the day today and cooler temperatures as that cold front makes its way into our area. 58 degrees overnight, TRC, 50% chance for rain, 48 degrees, Ruidoso. Here's your 7-day forecast. 80 degrees is our high today. So that cold front making its way into our area by this afternoon. 40% chance for rain. We're at 20% on Saturday. A high of 76 degrees on Saturday. We're at 79 on Sunday. We'll gradually begin to warm up, but notice we're still below normal. 89 is the high we're usually sitting at around this time. 20% chance for rain on Tuesday, and it looks like that 20% chance will stick around through Thursday. Stay with us. We'll have more news and storm track weather after the break.
Welcome back. A Texas mother says she is outraged that her 4-year-old daughter was left on a school bus for hours on a hot afternoon. That girl survived, and school district officials are now investigating. Here's Matt Rist with the details.
I wanted to take you inside to show you what this little girl had to deal with. I've been on this bus for only about 13 minutes. It's not even the hottest part of the day, and as you can see, I'm sweating. We can only imagine how this 4-year-old girl felt after hours. 4-year-old Serenity got onto the bus to go to Head Start like any other day, but was left behind in the sweltering heat of the sun.
And she said she didn't come to school today, so I started asking who picked her up, why don't you know where she's at? So of course, like any other mom, I start panicking.
Just 15 minutes later, the 4-year-old was found inside a school bus.
She was drenched in, like if she had barely gotten out the shower. That's how hot she was, how sweaty she was. Her hair was soaked. It was horrible. Her whole body, her whole clothes, it looked like somebody just threw her in the shower and put her back out.
After an hours-long emergency room visit, the smiling little girl is lucky to be alive.
You hear every day on the news, you know, people accidentally lock their kids in the car and 3 hours later they're dead. My child was on there for 4 hours. Thank God that she was able to survive that.
Andrews ISD Superintendent Dr. Bobby Azam said they are investigating how long she was left in the school bus. He said, quote, "We are investigating internally. We also contacted police. Everything the school did was done well. Where was the ball dropped? The bus driver didn't check the bus." He could not comment on personnel matters, but said there will be a new bus driver tomorrow.
Something like this shouldn't have happened, and they need to go ahead and re-educate them. Go ahead and make sure to teach them how to check for seats and for children, and every child is precious, and just put themselves in my shoes. What would y'all have done?
With an eye on Andrews, I'm Matt Rist, CBS 7 News.
Man, what a story. Let's take a live look at traffic right now. This is Loop 375. You can already see the water on the roads out there. That's where Nicole said a lot of that rain is falling out by Montwood, and there's the proof of it right there. As that car went by, you can see the water even splashing up at 522, and there's more to come, isn't there, Nicole?
Absolutely, and be careful if you're headed out the door. The roadways are slick. Luckily, there's not a lot of cars out there right now, but again, use caution. Let's take a look at Doppler radar, track some of these storms. Again, as you just saw on our traffic cameras, Montwood picking up the heaviest rainfall. Notice the yellows and the reds showing us the heavy rainfall that we are currently seeing. We'll zoom in a little closer around Desert Sun Drive, also seeing some rainfall. So if you live around that area, and even George Dieter, that is where we are picking up some of the heaviest rainfall. Moderate rainfall tracking through Bill Mitchell Drive, Bob Hercel Drive, and Sunfire Boulevard as well. So we'll continue to move towards the west around Ardell Avenue. Also seeing some moderate rainfall. So again, if you live on the east side of town and you're headed out the door right now, just be careful on the roadways. Stay with us. We'll have more news and weather after the break.
Welcome back. Now for a look at worldwide financial news, we head out to the ABC studios in New York City.
Good morning. Topping America's money, a vote of confidence for the NFL. PepsiCo, a major sponsor, likes that the league is now treating domestic violence more seriously following the Ray Rice assault investigation. The NFL gets about $1 billion a year from sponsorships. Toyota is recalling 130,000 2014 Toyota Tundra pickups, all because the side curtain airbags may not deploy properly. Some of the covers weren't installed correctly. The automaker says it has not had any reports of accidents or injuries because of that defect. Dolphins' Tale 2 is expected to have a strong debut, enough in fact to knock Guardians of the Galaxy out of the top spot. But the Dolphins could be beat by No Good Deed, a new thriller. And this gothic-looking burger is a new menu item at Burger King Japan. The bread and cheese blackened by bamboo charcoal, the special sauce made from squid ink, and there are no current plans to sell the Kuro burger here, though, in the U.S. That is America's Money. I'm Dan Kleffler.
I don't know how well that would go over anyway. That looked pretty weird. Well, remember the mystery plane that we were talking about in Las Cruces? A lot of people were wondering where it came from. Well, we now know what it was. A couple of weeks ago, it was seen flying very low over Aggie Memorial Stadium, scaring a lot of bystanders. Local military bases denied it belonged to them, and they were right. Officials at Moody Air Force Base in Valdosta, Georgia, confirmed the C-130 flying over NMSU was one of theirs. We were told by a lieutenant on base that the plane and a crew were on a routine flying mission from Colorado Springs, Colorado to Valdosta. The crew stopped to refuel at the Las Cruces airport, and that's why it was so low.
Well, that makes sense.
Nice to have an explanation, because we don't want just random aircraft, especially the low flying kind, right?
Especially with everything that's going on right now.
Exactly.
But we are tracking some light rain or light to moderate rainfall tracking through the east side of town. So if you live on that side of town, be careful as you're headed out the door. The roadways are slick in that area. 80 degrees is our high today, 40% chance for scattered showers and storms throughout the afternoon, and a cold front. Notice our high again, 80 degrees. The cooler weather remains in the forecast through your weekend with that 20% chance in place, and looks like those rain chances will stick around through next week with those low 80s hanging around.
All right, and keep it here for your top stories coming up. We're following new developments right now in the Oscar Pistorius trial out of South Africa. The judge has released her verdict. We have more on that coming up. Also, an Ohio neighborhood went to sleep in terror last night after a teenager convicted of shooting up a high school escaped from prison. This morning, he's back in custody. We'll have that story. And happening today, lawmakers from 2 different countries and 3 states meeting here in El Paso for a special conference. What they'll be talking about coming up next in a live report.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good Friday morning, everyone. Take a look at this. The weather radar this morning lighting up a lot. We are expecting more rain showers to move in here throughout the day. Welcome back to Good Morning El Paso. I'm Hillary Florin. Bob Harp is off today, and right now it is 5:31. Let's check in right now with Nicole Gomez. She's filling in again for Crystal Cly, and you are busy over there in the weather lab this morning, aren't you?
Absolutely. As of now, most of the rainfall is tracking across portions of eastern El Paso County. So let's zoom in a little closer where we can see some of the rainfall that's currently falling around North Lee Trevino Drive and Global Reach. Notice we're seeing some of the darker greens in that area. So if you live on the east side, be prepared for the rainfall, and just keep in mind the rain is only expected to continue throughout the rest of the afternoon. It is tracking towards Cielo Vista Mall and Viscount, so also expect more rainfall in the forecast. Notice as we track towards North Ressler, also seeing some of the lighter greens start to develop, but it could be evaporating before it actually hits the ground. As of now, again, most of the heaviest rainfall is on the east side of town. Now, as far as our temperatures, we're currently sitting at 70 degrees at the El Paso International Airport, and our temperatures are also going to be cooler today. Our winds are light now, but expect for them to pick up gradually throughout the afternoon. A little cooler in Las Cruces, where we're sitting at 65 degrees. Our humidity, notice that 81% with southeast winds at 5 miles per hour. So that cold front moves in this afternoon. We'll talk about your temperatures, how long the cooler weather is expected to stick around. We'll continue tracking these scattered storms and talk again about the cooler temperatures. That's all coming up in weather. Hillary?
Thanks, Nicole. We begin now with breaking news out of South Africa. Olympian Oscar Pistorius has been found guilty of culpable homicide, a charge similar to manslaughter here in the U.S. The judge said Pistorius was not guilty of murdering his girlfriend, as prosecutors had alleged. It could be weeks before the Olympian, known as the Blade Runner, is sentenced. We'll have more on this later on Good Morning El Paso, and stay tuned for more on out of South Africa on Good Morning America this morning. A teenage killer sentenced to life in prison had a very short-lived escape. He made it out of prison with another inmate but was caught overnight. In 2012, TJ Lane shot and killed 3 fellow students at Chardon High School in northeastern Ohio. He pleaded guilty last year to 3 counts of aggravated murder and other charges. Lane often showed a lack of remorse in court, wearing a t-shirt to his sentencing with the word killer written across the front. Lane was caught near Columbus, Ohio. The U.S. will impose new sanctions against Russia for its role in the Ukraine crisis. In a statement, President Barack Obama says his administration will release more details today. The announcement came after the European Union said it was implementing a new round of sanctions which will take effect today. They include blocking loans for 5 major Russian state-owned banks, curbing EU business to Russian defense and energy companies, and an asset freeze and travel ban against 24 more people. New details coming out of the about the man whose body was found torched in that vacant downtown building that we told you about yesterday. 28-year-old Marcus Dwayne Adkins is charged with failure to report a felony offense. According to court documents, police found his handprints on a mirror where the body was found. He was already in custody on an unrelated charge. When questioned, he then identified the other suspects to police. 34-year-old Jesus Barraza, 22-year-old Jerry Lynn McGavitt, and 19-year-old Thomas McNair are all charged with murder. 18-year-old Brittany Stewart was charged with failure to report a felony. The victim has not been identified yet, but one of the suspects said that he was known as Mexican Jerry. A motive is not yet known. Well, back in April, 4 Las Cruces city employees were charged with an alleged kickback scheme, but it turns out one of those former employees may work for the city again. Police say Jeffrey Honeycutt was the ringleader and allowed his employees to receive hundreds of dollars in fake overtime. After the arrest, he was let go from the department. But now Honeycutt could be reinstated with full benefits because the city held a personnel hearing, and the hearing officer recommended the city reinstate him. City Manager Robert Garza says he will decide whether Honeycutt is brought back. The DA's office says a criminal case against Honeycutt is still under review. More jobs are on their way to the Sun City. A DP spokesperson says that they're creating more than 1,000 new jobs in El Paso to add to its existing operation. ADP will also invest $41 million in capital investment to construct a second building at the ADP campus. If you'd like information, go to our website, KVIA.com, and just click on this story. In just a couple of hours, Borderland leaders will gather for this year's border conference right here in El Paso. It's quite the lineup of speakers, too. Good morning, El Paso's Denise Olivas has all the details on this story. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning, Hillary. The morning starts off with opening remarks from Senator Joe Rodriguez and Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Well, this year's convention features a bipartisan congressional delegation from the northern and southern border, mayors from 3 states and 2 countries. Officials will share their knowledge on how the border makes of its strategic position as the world's largest binational community and issues that will be discussed: trade, commerce, mobility, and education. Speakers also include Congressman Joaquin Castro, Chihuahua Governor Cesar Duarte, Mayor Oscar Leeser, and Las Cruces Mayor Ken Miyagashima. Well, the border conference began this morning at 7:30, so getting an early start at the convention center in downtown El Paso, and it is open to the public. But if you can't attend, but you are on social media, search the hashtag BorderCONF to keep up with all the day's events. Hillary, back to you.
All right, thanks, Denise. And coming to a channel near you, 2 U.S. senators in a survival-style shoe. Yes, you heard it right. It's a show, and they actually did survive, right, Dan, even though they're from different sides of the aisle?
Good morning. Yeah, that's right, Hillary. They did survive. In New Mexico, Democratic Senator Martin Heinrich and Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake both agreed to take part in a reality show. Their focus? Well, to prove to their colleagues in Congress that if they can work together, so can everyone else in D.C. They'll be in a deserted island. That's where the whole show takes place, and the senators were each allowed to pick 3 survival items from what the Discovery Channel called a modest list. Then they were forced to jump from a boat and swim to shore with just those items and clothes on their backs. Neither of the surviving senators is up for re-election. In a joint statement, Heinrich and Flake said, quote, "We recognize how difficult it can be to cut through the partisanship, so we decided to do something completely out of the ordinary and frankly a little extreme to show the world and our colleagues that even if you have serious differences, if you want to survive, You have to work together. So where exactly was this filmed? Well, check this out. The island they were in is about 2,500 miles from Hawaii itself, and they were out there for 6 days. The Discovery Channel says the show was filmed while Congress was on its August recess. The episode of Rival Survival, as it's being called, is expected to air on October 29th on the Discovery Channel. Hillary, back over to you.
Thanks so much, Dan. Let's take a live look at traffic right now. It is 38 minutes after 5 o'clock. Look at these wet roads. This is Loop 375 at Montwood. You can see even the interstate, some water kicking up as the cars drive by. This is where the rain has been falling this morning. And where is it headed? Well, we'll check in with Nicole in just a second. But first, here's a look at your bridge wait times. 20 minutes at the Bridge of Americas, 10 minutes at Paso del Norte, 5 minutes at the Isleta Port of Entry. And when we come back, we'll talk in detail about the forecast, where the rain is falling, but we know it's already here in El Paso. We just saw the proof, Nicole.
Absolutely. Most of that rain falls on the east side of town, but it's gradually tracking towards your area. When can you expect to see rain? We'll take an hour-by-hour look at what you can expect the rest of this morning, coming up in Storm Track weather.
Welcome back. It's 5:41. Are you ready for the Battle of I-10 this weekend? The presidents said both schools are upping the stakes on Saturday night. They're calling for a whiteout at the Sun Bowl. All fans are encouraged to wear white for the big game. UTEP defense has seen been two polar opposites when it comes to offense. The pistol option with UNM and the spread offense with Texas Tech. Now they get set for a team that's balanced with both the run and the pass. The Miners know it all starts with the passing and NMSU's quarterback, Tyler Rogers.
Much improved from last year, just like their entire team. So we're watching a lot of film in terms of their passing formations and 10 personnel, lots of receivers on the field that like to spread you out.
And as for the school's presidents, NMSU's Gary Carruthers raised the stakes a little with the game on Saturday, and UTEP's president Diana Natalicio came right back. They are waging wine and chili.
I would bet her some crimson wine, New Mexico wine, some crimson chili if we win, and if we do win, we'll give her that. If UTEP loses, she will pay off my $4.8 million deficit. So that's my challenge to President Natalicio.
I don't know, did that seem very fair?
Not to me.
Confidence in that. So we're wagering UTEP Miner wine and UTEP chili products. But these are not ordinary wine and chili products. They're UTEP Centennial wine and chili products. So we've raised the ante just a little bit on President Carruthers.
Looks good. Well, it's going to be a great game. So a whiteout, I hear, at the Sun Bowl. So that'll be interesting. See how many people do actually wear their white. Yeah, if you're going to go out, may as well.
Yeah, might as well, get
But I'm still kind of confused because I thought that NMSU was supposed to wear crimson, and then I just read that it's a whiteout for everyone, and I don't think that's right. Being an Aggie, I got to make sure. So I'm going to do a little research. Sure. You go ahead and do the forecast right now, and I'm going to look into that because
look into that.
the Aggie fans need to represent.
To wear all white at the game. I don't know. I think it would just
supposed to be an intimidation factor, right, for the Aggies who are coming and everyone's wearing white.
That's true. Maybe you should look into that.
I'm going to look into that. I don't want to tell my Aggie fans the wrong color to wear. That's not good.
Oh, looking up for your Aggies. Go ahead.
That's right. I got to know what color to wear.
Let's take a look at our clouds and radar picture here. Where again, we've been talking about all morning the heaviest rainfalls tracking through eastern portions of El Paso County. So again, just be advised if you live on the east side of town and you're headed off to work this morning, just be careful out on the roadways. So we'll zoom in just a little closer here. We'll zoom out, I should say. Again, the east side of town seeing the heaviest rainfall, but notice as we put our tracker on here around 5:54 in the morning, Loma Terrace, you all should be starting to see some rainfall around 6:09 according to this model here, Cielo Vista. So we'll start to pick up some of the rainfall. El Paso around 6:19, around 7 o'clock Sunland Park, and Cañutillo around 7:05 is when we should start to see more rainfall develop across the region. So again, the heaviest rainfall around Pebble Hills Boulevard, Zaragoza. The yellows and the reds showing us heavy rainfall is currently taking place in those locations. And again, the direction of these storms continuing to track towards the west. So if you haven't seen any rainfall yet, you more than likely will this morning and throughout the afternoon. Notice our latest feature track computer model, again, showing us the heaviest rainfall out to our east around 9 o'clock. I think the model going a little light on rainfall activity this morning. but notice Friday at 4 o'clock, darker greens here in El Paso, some dark green in Las Cruces, but more light green according to this latest model. We also start to see some of the yellows develop around portions of Hudspeth County. So if you have plans to travel towards Hudspeth County, Culberson County, we're seeing a lot of the heavier thunderstorms in that area this morning. 1 o'clock on your Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, but will gradually begin to dry out. So that could mean good news for those of you headed off to the Battle of I-10 on Saturday. 4 o'clock on Saturday, again, just a few clouds, but we'll still keep a 20% chance for showers in the forecast for your Saturday and into your Sunday as well. Again, I think this model is going a little light for our rain chances for the rest of today and Saturday morning. Monday, 3 o'clock in the morning, showing mostly dry conditions. Now our future track rainfall model showing us heavier rainfall along the higher elevations, but as you can see, the numbers gradually go up through midnight on your Sunday, showing us trace amounts out in Silver City and Deming. So here's a look at your 7-day raincast. This afternoon, we have a 40% chance for rain. Saturday and Sunday, we have dropped those rain chances down to 20%. Now the Borderland Blitz game of the week tonight, I should say. Del Valle versus Coronado, 77 degrees. We still have that 40% chance for showers in place, so make sure you take a poncho or an umbrella if you are headed out to the game. Now we're also tracking a cold front. Notice our temperatures Saturday in El Paso. We're only at 76 degrees, 20% chance for rain, slightly warmer on Sunday, but we're still about 10 degrees below normal. 74 degrees Las Cruces on Saturday, 79 your forecast high on Sunday. You can get your weather updates throughout the day on Facebook and Twitter. I'll be sure to post the Borderland Blitz forecast on our Facebook page. Just search KVIA.com. 80 degrees the high today in El Paso, 69 degrees overnight. Just keep in mind the winds will gradually pick up throughout the afternoon as the storms track through our area. Las Cruces, 78 degrees your high today, 65 degrees overnight, 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms. We have scattered activity throughout the borderland today with cooler temperatures. That cold front should make its way into our area by this afternoon. 58 degrees the low for Deming and TRC, only 48 degrees Ruidoso, so cold and wet along the high country for tonight. Again, we have that 40% chance for rain in place. A high of 80 degrees today. We're at 76 on Saturday, 20% chance for rain on Saturday and Sunday. 79 degrees the high. Looks like we'll remain in the low 80s for Monday. Tuesday will gradually begin to warm up on Wednesday. Stay with us. We'll have more news and weather after the break.
It's 5:49. Welcome back. And now to the earthquake in Napa. Police have released recordings of 911 calls. Dan Noyes has the story.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
The flood of calls started immediately after the 6.0 jolt.
My house is shook. Yes, we had an earthquake. Do you have any injuries or damage to report? I don't know. I'm in the dark. My son's here. My grandmother, she's elderly. Back if you determine you have injuries or damage. We have a lot of. I don't know. When you figure it out, call me back.
The dispatchers have to prioritize the calls to separate people who are just reacting to the shaking from those with injuries or are in imminent danger.
Strong order gas. Is there a rupture or is it just a smell? There's just a smell, but I think it was a rupture. We just had an earthquake in the house, so. Okay. I can't get out of my apartment. They're stuck in front of both doors. Okay, ma'am, are you injured? I can't move them. Are you injured? I'm kind of worried about my heart. I'm really frightened. Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm going to go ahead and get help started.
Most of the area is in darkness. The power's out, but fires light the pre-dawn darkness.
A transformer exploded in the dry brush. It's really big. Okay. Hold on 1 second. And it's a really big fire? Yeah. How big is the fire? It's really big. I mean, I'm not sure how to explain it. It's just getting bigger.
The worst fire at the mobile home park.
We have a fire. Okay, what's on fire? A home is on fire in the Napa Valley Park. Okay, and there's a lot of propane tanks around here. Okay, ma'am. Off of Solano and Orchard. We'll get the fire department started. Is it a one-story or two-story? It's a one-story. It's a mobile park.
The dispatchers showed tremendous grace under pressure.
I believe she's trapped in the house. The caller's on the line, though. I do have. In my bedroom. I can't get out.
Comforting frantic callers, calming them until help can arrive.
I'm I'm going to let the fire department know that you're there. But it's going to be a little bit before they can get out there. I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to know it's going to be okay, and we're going to be there, okay? Oh, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Okay, I understand you need to take deep breaths, okay? Long, deep breaths. I can't even call my daughter. Her phone don't work either.
Oh, scary to listen to that coming to light now. Well, the time right now is 5:52. We have Nicole Gomez standing by. She's talking about our forecast, and we are getting a little excitement of our own, just in a much smaller way this morning in the way of some rain.
Absolutely. Rain tracking through East El Paso. That's currently where we are seeing most of the rainfall, but not to worry. We're continuing to track those showers and thunderstorms, or scattered showers, I should say, throughout the afternoon. But again, the heaviest rainfall around Montwood, George Dieter, Edgemere, the east side of town. So be careful this morning as you're headed out the door. Here's a look at your day planner. Again, rain chances continue and our temperatures will be cooler. At 9 o'clock, we're at 73 degrees. By lunchtime, 77 with that 30% chance of rain in place. Our forecast high for today, 80 degrees. We're at 76 at 5 o'clock with that 40% chance for rain. Here's a look at your bus stop forecast. Again, grab an umbrella as you're headed out the door. Temperatures are cooler. We're at 68, 75 degrees. It's still comfortable though. Las Cruces a little cooler at 63 to 72, and our winds will gradually pick up throughout the afternoon as well. Stay with us. We'll have more news after the break.
Welcome back. Now for a look at news from the world of cutting-edge technology, we head out to the ABC studios in New York City.
Hello, in today's Tech Bites, you can pre-order an iPhone 6 right now. Apple took down its own site overnight to get ready for pre-orders. Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T began selling a new model a few hours ago. The phones should show up in retail stores a week from today. Verizon could have its own video streaming service by the middle of next year. Unlike other streaming services, Verizon plans to offer some live channels. While everyone else was paying attention to Apple, Dell quietly announced the thinnest tablet ever. It's less than a quarter-inch thick and has an 8-inch screen. It'll be available before the end of the year. And hundreds of old Atari game cartridges will be auctioned soon. They were found in a New Mexico landfill, dumped there more than 30 years ago. Most are tie-ins with the movie E.T., which at the time was considered the worst video game ever. Even the Smithsonian is interested. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Rena Ninen.
Here's your 7-day forecast. 40% chance for scattered showers this afternoon. Cooler temperatures are high 80 degrees. The cool weather remains in the forecast Saturday and Sunday with that 20% chance of rain in place through next week.
All right, we'll be right back after this with much more. We have all the headlines covered right after this.
Anchors dressed by Ella Blue.